Hello, investors. So this morning, I'm excited to make a video. I'm going to feature two properties, two different spectrums of the investment platform that we have here in Memphis, an A-class property and a C-class property. So, a lot of people are looking for a more passive income, a more predictable property to add to their portfolio by attracting a higher class of tenant. That's going to be the A-type property. The C-class property, however, is half the price, half the down payment, easy to get into financially, and offers a higher return on paper. Now, of course, it comes with more risk. Any investment that gives you a higher promised return is more risky than an investment that does not offer as higher return, but is a little bit more predictable, right? So let's dive right into these two properties. If you go to jameswachob.com, and most of you guys have been there, you've seen my properties, you've watched the videos. Today's featured property of the week, 2564 Linfield Road at $155,000, is in a Class A neighborhood, meaning it's mostly homeowner, has access to great shopping and parks. It's a safe area with decent schools. It has great possibility for appreciation. And why is it going to have great possibility for appreciation? Because homeowners are attracted to this area. In areas that are mostly rentals, and it's all out-of-state investors primarily buying these homes, the appreciation comes through inflation mostly. So as your dollar weakens, the property value goes up, right? But in the areas where homeowners are attracted to, it's a simple supply and demand issue. There's also a lot of money coming into neighborhoods where homeowners are in the way of granite countertops and updating houses, and we see true appreciation in Class A neighborhoods. Instant cash flow. So that means this property is rented today. It's got a lease through 2021 in place, so you're guaranteed cash flow from day one when you buy this property. It has a cash-on-cash return of 9.78%, meaning once you take out all expenses from your gross income annually, you're left with 9.78% compared to the amount of cash out of pocket to purchase this property. Awesome curb appeal on this property, and that doesn't get you any more rent, right? But it sure does make your property stand out and attract that high quality of tenant. It's got a wooded lot, but there's no trees overhanging the home. In Memphis, be careful that you don't buy houses with trees, branches overhanging the roof, because one day those are going to have to get trimmed and they're expensive. So we're always looking at future cost out of our pocket when buying rental properties. Okay, so from jameswachob.com, you have all the video or properties. As you scroll down, you'll see that the properties go from coming soon to available to reserved and then sold. So coming soon means that they aren't quite ready to be sold yet. Maybe we haven't signed the lease with the tenant, or we're gathering more information that you need to move forward with this property. Once someone does click the button and say order now, it goes to reserved. Once I receive earnest money from that person, it says sold on the website, and once it actually sells, it goes away forever. All right, but lower down, you have a bank of videos. The one video I wanted to draw your attention to is this investment map of Memphis, where I'll walk you through the neighborhoods we invest in and show you the areas we stay away from for the most part. Watch that video if you have questions. That's number one step I tell investors when they're looking to invest with me and my team. Watch that video, and it'll take you on a ride through Memphis and get you a good understanding geographically of why we invest, where we invest. But while you're on any of these videos, please take the time to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Push the little bell next to the subscribe. But once you push subscribe, push the little bell next to it, and that'll send you an email alert each time I upload a new video like this one you're watching right now. Okay, so the two properties we're looking at today, let me make me smaller so you can see these houses, is this East Memphis property on Linfield. Let me update my page, and you're going to see the photo update real quickly. Okay, so this East Memphis Class A property, and we're going to look at the property next to it at 2305 Nunley Avenue. So 2305 Nunley Avenue, you see it says listing. Well, what does that mean? So this is a house that I have listed for one of my good friends and clients who lives out of state. They've decided to sell this property after buying it from me 2 years ago. It was renovated 2 years ago, same tenant, just signed up a new lease with the property management team. And so it's a 2-year-old renovation, new lease in place at $625 a month. That meets that 1% rule everybody's asking for. They've asked me to sell it for them. So I'm your go-to guy when you want to sell a property in Memphis. One of the questions I get a lot is, are these properties liquid? If I decided to sell 2 years from now, am I going to be losing money after paying closing costs and real estate fees? The answer is no. So after 2 years, these folks are going to break even, after owning the property, if you don't even count the debt reduction, the rental income, the tax advantages they've had for the past 2 years. So these properties are pretty liquid because there's a lot of investors that are wanting properties. And this is one of the ways a lot of my investors like to buy. If anybody's familiar with Roofstock, hey, I'm the Roofstock of Memphis, Tennessee. So let's dive right into Linfield. So from the Google Maps, this community is called Balmoral. For decades, this has been a great place for homeowners and a few rentals sprinkled in here and there. Just north of this house is the YMCA that my wife take my wife and I take my kids to swim. She goes and works out. I need to get better about that, but that's the YMCA we go to. Just north of that YMCA is a real jewel of Memphis called Lichterman Nature Center. So a family donated this property years and years ago, and this is a nature center where you can go and learn about the ecosystem and how things are impacted. It's a really cool little area. They have weddings and parties. It's got a place that you can rent out. It's a really scenic, beautiful place right in the middle of Memphis. So let's go back to the map. I'll scroll out a little bit. You can see that it's located near the interstate system, so access to any major employer, the airport within 15 minutes. You can be anywhere from this East Memphis property in town, so great location for a rental property. If you dive into the Diligence Vault, and how do you get to the Diligence Vault? From my website, you click on the picture of any house, and that's going to open your Diligence Vault. Within the Diligence Vault, I've given you all the information that I have, all the information that an informed investor asked me for before they're able to move forward. And move forward could mean to eliminate this property as a possibility for their portfolio. And that's okay, because not every property is going to fit your requirements. If it has, some of the characteristics that you like, then you dive deeper in and learn more about this property here in the Diligence Vault. If I haven't answered all of your questions here, schedule a call with me and I'll walk you through any property, answer any of the questions you have, or find that information for you. So of course, in the Diligence Vault, you're going to have a pro forma, breaks down the financials of what it looks like to own a property like this. The rent minus all expenses is going to give you your cash on cash return, meaning so your net operating income divided by the total cash it took to purchase this property. Right now, you can buy properties with only 20% down and closing costs. So you could buy a nice Class A property like this, $155,000, with only $36,000 out of pocket, with a 30-year fixed interest rate. Wow, that's amazing. So I have figured this pro forma at 5% interest, and some of my lenders are coming in a little bit under 5%. I've accounted for vacancy, property insurance, so in case the house burned down or anything like that, principal and interest, your payment to the bank, future repairs, management at 8%, and of course, Uncle Sam's going to get his, so property taxes. So I've got a true pro forma with all expenses listed in here for you. I've got a scope of work on each property, so showing you all of the work that's been recently completed on this house. I've got a property condition disclosure showing you that this property has a rental income of $1,450 a month. The annual taxes, the current lease started on 6/26 and goes through 5/31 of 2021. Great month to end on, by the way. Be cautious of leases that end November to January. Those are tougher times to rent houses, right? So if you could have all your cake and eat it too, you'd buy a house that fits your parameters and the lease would not end November through January. And you can always negotiate with a tenant on these things. Your property manager can on your behalf. So you could tell your property manager, look, I just don't like houses that have leases that end November to January. Please don't sign those for me. Let the people extend through February or get out early in October. That's one way to do it. Okay, the property data sheet is all the information I have as a real estate broker, square footage from 3 different sources if available. So appraiser, assessor, realtors, tax information, exact tax information from the tax assessor, the appraisal amount that you're being taxed on, all the information you could want. Photos, lots of photos with all of my houses. And a lot of you guys have told me that you like this because some of you are thousands of miles away. And this is the best way that you can actually feel like you're here. You can see the granite countertops. You can see the white cabinets and hard surface floors. You can get a feel for my houses because I provide so many photos of these houses. All righty, so photos. Let's go now to Nunley. It's a C-class property. This is the one that I have listed for one of my clients, only $62,500. Renovated 2 years ago, and the list of renovations is extensive. This house is really well done. Dig into that Diligence Vault, check it out. For geographic location-wise, let's look at this. So this property is located north of town and definitely a C-class area, meaning mostly rentals. And in C-class neighborhoods, you know, crime is a little bit higher, but you can get in for $62,500, and with a good renter, you can have a great income. Now, are the chances of having a not so good a renter higher in C-class areas? I would say yes. However, if you own multiple properties, it lowers your risk just through having a larger portfolio. So this property on Nunley Avenue is in a C-class neighborhood. Let me show you the attraction to this area. So just a few miles away, 2.1 miles away, 6-minute drive, is the Nike North American Logistics Campus. This is a 3 million square foot facility where every shoe, every piece of apparel for Nike is shipped from. Look at this thing, it's huge. And if we pull out here, I'm gonna drop my little man. These are all things you can do from your home. I'm just using Google Maps, right? This huge facility is a large employer in the Fraser area, and we have a lot of tenants coming in that wanna rent in this area because they work the night shift. They wanna be 2 miles away from Nike, a large employer here in town. All right, so in the Diligence Vault on this property, the seller of the property provided me with tons of photos. I've got comparable sales to show that this house is priced properly. Let me go into that folder and show you what it looks like. So you have what's called a 3-up report. It'll have the subject property, so our house on Nunley as the subject, with 3 comparable sales. So 3 houses that have sold recently, same square footage ballpark, same age range, and of course, the most important, within the same vicinity. So your subject property is in the black circle with the S, and number 1, 2, and 3 are your different properties that we're using as comparable sales to show this price is this house is priced properly. Selling from 64 to 65,000, same square footage range after a renovation, and our house is 62.5. So this is what I was talking about on these listings. Sometimes you get what some people would call maybe a little bit of a discount. You're not paying as much as you would for a turnkey, and it's instant cash flow because it's occupied today. You can always tell on my website because it says actual rent if the property is currently occupied with a tenant, or at least has a lease signed. If the property is under renovation and it does not have that, it's going to say target rent. Okay, so you have your comparable sales, you have that. Let me just show you what it looks like to buy a house on the website. If one of these properties fit your buying parameters, you felt good about it, you're pre-approved with one of our lenders or paying cash, you simply click the button that says order now, you fill out this quick survey, and then one of my team members will send you the paperwork via DocuSign. Once you've signed your purchase and sale agreement, you'd wire in your earnest money to the closing attorney. The closing attorney would hold that money for you until the mortgage is ready for the closing. We've had your home inspection, your termite inspection. My team handles all of that for you that I can't give all the information to the mortgage company. You'll have to do that. But everything that can be done for you, my team takes care of. We're easily selling a house a day right now. If you've got questions about investing in Memphis, please take the time to schedule a call with me or one of my team members. We'd love to walk you through what it looks like to start out with your first property or add to that portfolio that we're already building up. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your business.